This is a story called Nowhere to Live. There's a young family who don't have much. They can't afford fancy clothes, shoes, furniture or toys, but they have each other. One day when the family come home, they discovered that their house was on fire. They lost everything. Valuables that couldn't be replaced, their clothes and the kids' toys. Worst of all, they lost their home and were left with nowhere to live. They went to stay with family for a while, but then Colby lost his job as the company he worked for closed down unexpectedly. His brother and sister-in-law have three kids of their own, and they can't afford to feed anymore. The family have no choice but to try and find accommodation elsewhere, but everywhere is too expensive. This left them with no choice but to sleep on the streets and in homeless shelters. The kids had to be taken out of school because their parents didn't know where they were going to be from one day to the next. This went on for 6 months until finally it looked like things were about to get better. Colby thought he'd found another job, but unfortunately it fell through. He went out looking for other jobs, but he couldn't find anything. His wife, Willow, also went out looking for work, but she also came to a dead end. They were all desperately hungry and all the time. All day long all they did was walk the streets with the kids looking for work, and the rest of the time they were begging for money. This went on for quite a long time, and the family were becoming more and more desperate as time went by. The kids, Carson aged 11, Claire aged 9, Alyssa aged 6, Louisa aged 4, and the twins Milo and Kane aged 18 months were all incredibly hungry and unhappy. It broke their parents' hearts to see them like that, but they were at their wits' end and they didn't know where to turn next. Then one day a young woman approached them and told Willow and Colby that she was just opening a new business and she was looking for people to work for her. Her name was Julie and she was opening a children's centre for kids up to the age of 18. A place where kids could hang out with their friends and the younger kids could play in a warm, safe and friendly environment. Julie needed someone to do the bookings for parties and to help with the running of things. She also needed security guards to keep an eye on the older kids in case of any trouble. Colby's last job was in working as a security guard, and Willow worked in a shoe shop until it closed down. Julie told them that there was a 6-bedroom house next door that they could live in. The family couldn't believe their luck. They were so happy and they could barely contain their excitement. The kids were able to go back to school, and with a bit of help they managed to catch up with all the schoolwork they'd missed. They went back to the school they were in before their house burnt down. The house wasn't decorated or furnished, but Julie gave Willow and Colby £5,000 to do it up, and the arrangement was that they would pay back the money at £15 a month each, meaning they would each pay back £2,500. They agreed that this was fair and they couldn't wait to move in. They all had to sleep on the floor in sleeping bags and eat takeaways for a couple of days until they'd finished decorating and until their new furniture arrived. After Willow and Colby had been working for Julie for a year, she told them that she was giving them both a promotion. Colby was made the manager of security and Willow was made the manager of the centre. None of them could believe their luck. A couple of years ago their house burnt down with all their belongings inside, and Colby lost his job and they were homeless. Now they had everything, 6 beautiful kids and one on the way and decent jobs. They decided that they wanted to help other people who were in the same situation they were once in. Willow had an idea. She told Colby and Julie that the huge building next door had been empty for some time and that she thought it would be a good idea for them to buy it between them. They all agreed that this was a good idea. They bought the building and with planning permission they knocked the building down and built houses and bungalows on the site. After that project was finished and the properties were occupied, the trio decided to invest in another project. This time, with planning permission, they opened a huge homeless shelter. It was a safe place for the homeless to go, but they wanted to do more for them. They then bought another empty building, knocked it down and built more houses and bungalows. There was a huge empty plot of land at the back and they bought it and built one, 2 and 3 bedroom flats on there. A few months later they bought another empty building and turned it into more flats. They continued to buy empty buildings and plots of land so that they could continue to help the homeless to get off the streets. Over the years they bought at least 8 empty plots of land and about 10 empty buildings, all of which were turned into flats, bungalows and houses. The end. Thank you.